The Inside Edge Network is brought to you by Fanatics. Fanatics isn't just our name, it's who we are. Loyal, passionate fans, dedicated to our favorite teams and athletes to the sports we love. That's why we're honored to be able to offer fans the world's largest collection of official sports apparel and sports jerseys from all the leagues, teams, and players you love. We're talking NFL, Major League Baseball, NBA, National Hockey League, the NCAA. I'm a wrestling guy as well. We got WWE apparel available too. It allows us to serve fans of football, baseball, hockey, basketball, lacrosse, soccer, golf, and everything else that gets your heart pumping. Go to fanatics.com by using the QR code on your screen right now to celebrate your teams. It's right there in the corner of your screen. Get your official gear. Level up with us at fanatics.com.
Whether you're searching for a baseball autographed by your favorite World Series slugger, a signed football by an iconic Hall of Famer, or the jersey of a world-famous soccer star, you've come to the right place. Here at sportsmemorabilia.com, the web's leading source of authentic sports memorabilia, you'll find more than 500,000 authentic products from nearly every professional sports league, team, and player. Not only will you find your next prized sports possession with ease thanks to superb customer service and tremendous site experience, but you'll have the satisfaction and peace of mind that every product listed comes complete with a certificate of authenticity and is fully backed by the sportsmemorabilia.com lifetime authenticity guarantee.
This is Midnight Run on the Inside Edge Network. Here's your host, Anthony Alford.
It is the show before the draft. I'm so excited. Welcome to Midnight Run here on the Inside Edge Network. You hear it. Oh, you hear it. As a 34-year-old adult, it is the best sound in the world. It's brewing coffee here at midnight. Oh, just hold up. Here's the best part. Oh, that's beautiful when it's done. Now, out of respect for the show, I ain't got time to dress up this coffee, so this is going to be straight black coffee for this first segment. Welcome to the show. It's great to have you with us here with you until 1. Eli Moon, the Golden Child's my producer here tonight, and we are so glad to have you along here for this program. And I'll tell you, the NFL draft is interesting in the best of ways and the worst of ways. The NFL draft, imagine preparing for the OGTs or the proficiency test or the SATs or whatever your state level testing for like months and months and months. And all of your education comes down to your standardized testing. That's the draft. There's nothing new to learn about the draft as we are less than 24 hours away. But here we are. Here we are. The time has come to figure out whether or not your football team, and we're here in Cleveland, so the Cleveland Browns are going to make a smart decision, or they're going to make smart decisions. And I think there's a lot of things that goes into how you would deem, would you deem a successful night for the Cleveland Browns, for Andrew Berry. And I think circumstances and perspective matters. Last year, Andrew Berry had that amazing, according to the words of Jimmy Haslam, a pretty amazing draft. You got the Defensive Player of the Year. You got the Defensive Rookie of the Year, excuse me. You finally figure some things out. You may or may not have a quarterback. Who knows? I think they do, but it's questionable to a lot of people. But Jimmy Haslam talked about Andrew Berry's draft. But again, perspective matters. Perspective that you were not a good football team the previous year. I mean, only, 3 wins in 2024. So it's just not a good football team. You had a lot of areas to fill. Now, this past season, the Browns won 5 games. Of course, 3 of those was under Shedeur Sanders, but 5 wins. But here's where things are different. I'm hearing a lot of people. I get it. A lot of people have been studying drafts and mock drafts and stuff. You see right there our draft coverage later tonight, 7:45 later tonight. Ryan Mosser and David Calhoun, they're going to lead our Inside Edge Network coverage of the draft. And they have been studying, and I trust their word. I trust their word because they have been breaking down various elements of the draft all throughout. And they're going to take you through it, whatever happens with the Browns, whatever decisions are made, not just with the Browns, but across the National Football League. Also remember, right after the draft coverage, I'll be here for Midnight Run tomorrow, right after our draft coverage. I'll actually be joined, by the way, by Chad Bryant and TK Dandridge. Fun fact, the first 3 faces you saw on this network will actually be with you for the post show tomorrow with a special Midnight Run, Cavs post game plus draft recap. But perspective matters. And here's the real deal. You need to figure out if you have a franchise starting quarterback this year. You need to find out if he's on your roster this year. The NFL, if you look at next year's draft class, led by Arch Manning and various others, it's going to be a loaded draft class next year. The NFL is going to hit a hard reset. A hard reset among player personnel, everything. So because of that, I don't think it's the smart approach to take the whole trade back, gain assets, and try to save and play for next year. I don't think that's a smart thing to do. I really don't. Because you need Shedeur Sanders or Deshaun Watson or Dylan Gabriel. You need to find out if they're the guy. And you need to provide them with all the weapons possible to fairly calculate whether or not they're the guy or not, fairly assess whether or not they're the guy or not. So here's my draft analysis. Here you go at 12:09 here in the East Coast, 9:09 in the West Coast. Here's my draft analysis. If the Browns do not pick a wide receiver at number 6, it is a huge mistake. End of story. A huge mistake. You can't tell me that you enjoyed the wide receiver play from this team over the last several seasons. You can't tell me you like what you have seen. I can't tell you how often DBs have shut down our wide receivers. How many packages have we tried to run with Jerry Jeudy? How many, when Kevin Stefanski had the Elijah Moore package? Where did that go? Here in Cleveland, we're still trying to chase the glory days of Jarvis Landry and Odell Beckham Jr. We're still chasing it. Think about how this team looked. And I'm not talking about the off-the-field stuff with OBJ. But think about how this team looked when you had receiving threats assisting Baker Mayfield. Look at how different the offense operated.
Shedeur Sanders or Deshaun Watson, whoever the starting quarterback is for the Cleveland Browns, you owe it to those quarterbacks to give them a legitimate receiver. You owe it to them to give them that number one receiver, deliver on that number one receiver. Because I'm telling you right now, if the Browns trade, but honestly, it's probably a matter of when. If or when the Browns trade back, all of your dream wide receivers that you want are going to be off the board. They're going to be off the board. And Andrew Berry, the one position that Andrew Berry has never been able to figure out is the receiving core. The margin of error here in the AFC North is not that far. But the Browns have 5 wins. You really only need 9 or 10 wins to win the AFC North. That's it. That's all you need. You are a receiver away. Now, I understand. I get it. The needs at offensive line. Believe me, I understand, and it is important. Offensive line is important. And there have been success stories of teams drafting offensive linemen, and they have gone far, deep into the playoffs, maybe even a Super Bowl in there. But it had to happen in a culture where things are aligned. That ain't here. That's not happening here. You absolutely need that receiver. No disrespect to Joe Thomas, because Joe Thomas, very nice guy. Very nice guy. Love him. One of the greatest Cleveland sports figures of all time. Of all time. He was the core figure of our offensive line for the Cleveland Browns. Only one winning season. It's not his fault. I mean, Joe Thomas did everything he could. He started every game. He had that long consecutive start streak. He did all he could in his 11 seasons with the Cleveland Browns. Only one winning season. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to stop pretending like impact positions don't impact winning. Impact positions, you need an elite quarterback. You need an elite tailback. You need an elite receiver. Yes, you need a competent offensive line. Absolutely. And left tackle is important. And there's value later in the draft, later in the first round, where you can get a valuable tackle, preferably left tackle. Preferably left tackle. It's there. But you need that dog at receiver. You got to have somebody that the Bengals have to respect defensively, the Ravens respect defensively, and the Steelers. Those 3 teams have punked the Browns on defense. And I keep pointing back to last year when Harold Fannin was in the game with Shedeur Sanders. Look at how Shedeur looked. Look. Deep connection, touchdowns. We're beating Pittsburgh. We're beating the Steelers. When Harold Fannin was out due to injury, night and day difference. Let's cut it out right now. Let's cut it out. Stop and listen. I'm preparing myself for whatever's going to happen tomorrow. I'm preparing myself. And again, we'll have that draft coverage tomorrow night, 7:45. But if the Browns do not pick a receiver at number 6, it is a huge mistake. Sometimes it is okay to simply pick the best player available. What's wrong with that? I'm sitting here about to pull my hair. What is wrong with picking the best player available? Cardell Tate is ready to dominate for the Browns. He's ready. He has to just go right down the street. Cardell Tate's ready to dominate for the Browns. If you decide you want to get Tyson, hey, his brother's already here. Make it a family affair. You got dogs at receiver. It's there. Don't miss out. Because I'll tell you right now, I understand the strategy with Andrew Berry and trading back. I understand that strategy is what it is, and it worked last year. We ain't got that kind of time. And I don't care what Andrew Berry believes. I don't care what the front office believes. I don't care how much rope the Hassels have given Andrew Berry. This is one and done right here for the Browns. 2027 is a hard reset for the entire NFL. If we are coming away with only 5 wins at the end of this season, 6 wins, it's going to be a new day. The whole traded back day for what? What is it going to do for you? You're going to be unemployed. You're going to be out of a job. And then you're going to be talking to me about joining the Inside Edge Network, which will take you in. But come on. It's time for the Cleveland Browns to pick the best player available. And the best players available is that dog at the receiver position. But no matter what they do, we'll have the draft coverage for you tomorrow night, 7:45, right here on the Inside Edge Network. We'll take you through it. I'll tell you what, man, I'm just bracing myself. I thought Christy on Jersey Chasers, I thought she mentioned something phenomenal earlier today on Jersey Chasers. She's like, I'm not going to have anything near me because if they draft a lineman, I'm going to throw something. Come on. I get it. It's probably the best thing to do. I've seen it. I get it. But it is what it is. Well, no matter what happens, whether you like what the Browns do or what they don't do, or they trade up or trade back, you should never trade in anything for B.A. Sweeties. B.A. Sweeties is phenomenal. B.A. Sweeties is the perfect. Think about what's happening tomorrow. Think about your day tomorrow. Then you're going to have to work. You're going to have to do what you, or maybe you're off tomorrow. Maybe that Thursday, you mapped out Thursday. Like, this is the big day. I'm going to have a draft party. I'm going to be ready to go. And maybe on the side TV, I'm going to have the Cavs and Raptors. Boom. Well, you need popcorn, right? You need candy. You need, sodas. You need all that stuff. BA Sweeties has you covered. Interstate 480, the Ridge Road exit. Make a left on Brook Park Road, and you will see a giant lollipop. There's the address, 6770 Brook Park Road in Cleveland, Ohio. I think when I do this read, I forget to say the 0. So 6770 Brook Park Road in Cleveland, Ohio. That's how you can get a hold, get inside BA Sweeties. So the cool thing, when you get inside, it smells great, and you just grab his stuff. Bring your kids, bring your loved one, just bring yourself. You'll have a good time. Candies, popcorns, jelly beans, pop. They got an ice cream shop too. So get your candies, get your ice cream, get it all ready to go. And when you check out, if your cart is worth $40 or more, somebody needs to turn off their car outside. If your car is worth your order is worth $40 or more, mention the word lollipop at checkout. In-store promotion only. They will take $5 off of your total order. Again, the baseline is $40. You mention the word lollipop, they'll take $5 off of your total order. I'll tell you, it's no better time. You got the draft, you got Cavs Raptors, the Guardians. There's a point I want to bring up real quick when we come back from break. You got the Guardians and Blue Jays. It's like the Guardians and the Cavaliers that follow each other this season. I got a crazy stat for you when we come back. Also coming up, a little bit of a fun conversation. Let's have some fun. What if Arch Manning actually declared for the draft this year? Would the Raiders pick him or Fernando Mendoza at 1? And then I got a follow-up Browns question for you as well. Plus, we haven't really talked much about the overview of the NBA playoffs. We'll do that when we come back. We also got Unpack Wednesdays, including the government stepping in and saying they want a 2014 college football playoff. How you feel about that? And an interesting wrinkle in the WNBA schedule. What if I told you right before your playoffs, your league is going to take a 2-week break to participate in a tournament. That's what's happening in the WNBA. We'll talk about that full show for you here on Midnight Run, back after this.
Clean energy, bold flavors, no jitters. See why people won't shut up about Dubby. Clean energy, no jitters or crash. Helps you lock in and focus. Over 15 absolute fire flavors to choose from. Visit Dubby.gg and use promo code InsideEdge10. Mosser Moments Photography is a husband and wife wedding photography team based in Cleveland, owned and operated by Ryan and Hallie Mosser. For the past 10 years, they've captured more than 100 weddings across Northeast Ohio and beyond, always working together as a true two-person team. Their style centers on authentic, emotional storytelling, documenting the real moments between two people in love and creating images that feel natural, comfortable, and true to the couple. Rooted in Northern Ohio, but inspired by their travels, Ryan and Hallie bring a warm, personal approach to every wedding day. Their work blends experience, consistency, and a genuine passion for helping couples relive their best day through timeless photography. Learn more at MosserMomentsPhotography.com.
This is Midnight Run on the Inside Edge Network. Here's your host, Anthony Alford.
You ever do a talk show or a podcast and you deliver a tease and then during the break you think about it? It's like, I don't even want to do that story anymore. I kind of feel that way about the Mendoza Arch Manning. We're supposed to deliver our tease. What caught my eye, we're going to talk NBA playoffs in about 3 or 4 minutes. Orlando and Detroit, I couldn't believe it because I actually jumped in and watched it when it was already a blowout. Detroit handling business in game 2 against Orlando. But it's just clicked for me. They were tied at 46 apiece when the third quarter started. And then Detroit outscored Orlando 30-3. Whoa. Whoa. A lot of intriguing stuff with the NBA playoffs. Give me about 3 minutes. We're going to talk NBA playoffs. Real quick. Arch Manning, let's just have fun. I understand. Listen. This draft, you should watch. Every draft is huge. Every draft's important. Just because this draft across the landscape of the NFL is not deemed sexy, this is a true meat and potatoes draft where you find out which one of these GMs and which one of these teams are actually good at their jobs and who's not. Again, Browns have 2 picks. We'll see in the first round. We'll see how that materializes. Will they receive an offer from the Rams? Will the Dallas Cowboys come calling about that 6th pick? We'll see. Just for fun. Arch Manning, he stayed. He did not declare for the draft. He stayed. He opted for another year of college. Maybe that would have been a different decision if NIL did not exist. But as if the Mannings couldn't make any more money somehow. But but that's there. Listen. I still think Mendoza is the better quarterback at this moment. I still believe that he showed a complete package at this stage, what he was able to do with Indiana, especially in that playoff run. I thought that was huge. But if you deem that Arch Manning has the higher ceiling in the name, you could do something with. You could have done something with that if that was a real thing. Now, the bigger question. All right, let's say if this was an actual thing here, this actual hypothetical was real. Let's say the Raiders pick whoever they pick between these two, right? Let's say they pick Arch Manning. They draft Arch Manning. And what if I told you Mendoza drops to 6? If you're the Browns, would you pick him? If that, again, we're playing hypotheticals. This is not real. This is not a real thing. But there were talks about the Browns looking at Ty Simpson. I'm kind of glad that died down. But the Browns seem very unsure about what they're going to do at the quarterback position and what they're going to do at 6. I truly believe they would pick, in this scenario, if this was true and Manning was in this draft, I think the Browns would pick whichever quarterback falls to 6 over a lineman, over a receiver, which again goes to tell you, in my view, the Browns are all in on drafting a lineman is bull. It's just, don't buy into that at 6. Just don't, because if a quarterback was available of high quality, they would pick them at 6, no questions asked. Forget about it. All right, I had a real quick, Eli, real quick. I'll just do this at you. This is a very hype. This is not real. This is very fantasy. First off, 2 questions.
Yes.
If you were the Raiders, who would you pick between these 2?
I don't think. I think it would be Fernando Mendoza, because I just think Arch Manning still is on the potential side, as opposed to, like, has he really played that well? I know he had a good end of the year, but has he really played well enough to really be considered a top quarterback besides a name? If he was, Arch, I don't know, Arch Robinson or something, or something. I mean, what would we be talking about this guy? I don't think so. Double A. I think there's more of a discussion of this question of Fernando Mendoza and the guy that was going to be the QB2, which is Dante Moore, who went back to school. I think, but fun question nonetheless. But I think Mendoza, man, he is chomping at the bits to get to Las Vegas. I think he's ready to get to work, and I think the Raiders know who their guy is, and it is Mendoza.
All right, so the next question. It's a 2-parter. All right, let's say they go with that, right, Mendoza, in this hypothetical. Yes. It's fun, folks. It's draft night. We're trying to create some stories here.
Yeah, come on.
Come on, people. Come on. Arch Manning falls to 6. What does Cleveland do? I think they would pick him. They would pick him. Jimmy Haslam loves Tennessee, and he loves anything surrounding Tennessee. And Peyton Manning has a tie to Tennessee. So you know what? They'll take Arch Manning. And that makes 0 sense in the world, and that's why Jimmy Haslam would do it. But yes, they would take Arch Manning at 6. They would 1,000%. But luckily, we live in a world where it seems like tomorrow night, if the board shakes the right way, it seems like me and you are on the same page. Carnell Tate. So I mean, that seems to be the right move is Carnell Tate. Chad and I talked about it on prime time right before you. And I think you're sharing the same thoughts. It's got to be that wide receiver 1. If they think they can get Jordan Tyson at 12, okay, make the trade back, but he better be there at 12. I don't think, and that's my thing. I don't think a receiver that they want, a top tier receiver, is going to be there at 12. I mean, could you go back in 9 if they traded back to the 9th spot? Maybe one was still there.
I think the 12 is the value because of Dallas having 20 as well. Them being able to secure another first rounder out of it is what appeals to the Browns. But the only way I do it is if Jordan Tyson's the guy at 12. I'm not doing it to go get another lineman. If you think you're going lineman, you might as well just draft one at 6 and just disappoint us, us wide receiver people already. Don't make us wait a few more picks and a few more commercials and a few more Roger Goodell walking up to the podium. Just get it over with, man. But hopefully it's Carnell Tate, Double A. Hopefully.
I do have a Roger Goodell point real quick, and then we'll talk playoffs. This actually relates. Roger Goodell has embraced being a heel at the NFL draft over the years, would you say?
He sure has. And he's a good heel.
Another former commissioner, the late, great David Stern. David Stern used to milk the crowd.
Yeah.
At Madison Square Garden. He would, you suckers. Your team sucks anyway. Keep booing.
Yeah, I love it, bro. I can't wait to see how Goodell reacts tomorrow.
Does Adam Silver need to embrace? Does he need to make a heel turn? Because Adam Silver, he has been the baby face at these drafts all these years, but I can't. It's hard to envision Adam Silver as a heel after all those years with David Stern, but I think enough time has passed. I mean, Silver's been there for over a decade. There are some who don't like him at all. I think he does get a little bit booze now with these drafts. But Adam Silver as a heel, the presentation, it would be it seems awkward. I don't know if he can pull it off.
No, and he shouldn't. You got the NBA gambling situation going on right now, the investigation. You got the arguments over the 65-game threshold. You got arguments over the All-Star game, and if they're trying hard, he asked Robert Zicki on Main Event Sundays here on Inside Edge Network. He doesn't like the All-Star game, and a lot of people, I guess, don't. Or you ask all this going on to be said, that maybe Adam Silver should just stay in the good graces. He's already beloved by a lot of NBA fans. Maybe turning heel on the NBA draft isn't the best move for his business right now. No, he's not right now,
You know what they should do? We don't have this in the rundown, but you know what they should do?
What's that?
They should have the NBA draft in Memphis.
Oh.
You see that story? Adam Silver said in the media he wants a few like a wish list, a bucket list, a few Grizzly games in Nashville. LeBron already why is everyone going after Memphis? LeBron already pissed them off. Now Adam Silver's pissing them off. Like, what has Memphis done to corporate America for everyone to turn on them?
I couldn't answer that question. Poor Memphis, man. But hey, Nashville's like, hey, we'll take it. We're getting love by way of Memphis getting, some shade. I mean, crazy times we are living in, pal.
Unbelievable. Let's talk NBA playoffs. Thank you, Eli. Let's talk NBA playoffs. Just overall view. Again, Cavs Raptors tomorrow. We got a special edition of Midnight Run after draft coverage, wrapping up Cavs Raptors game 3. Also, I forgot to mention, I believe Voice of the Land will be on tomorrow night. Ryan Mosser and Kevin Arnold tomorrow night, 6 o'clock here on the network. So full night of programming. LeBron. Actually, yes, a few stories. LeBron. I think LeBron, I'm watching LeBron. I'm watching him go vintage LeBron. All of a sudden, I think dude's going to retire after this season. I think he's going to retire. I think this has a feel. It's kind of a dark way to analyze this. I'm going to try to tread lightly here. This has a last ride type of feel. Don't you see it? LeBron's moving, a little bit quicker like the old days. LeBron just really dominated on the. You remember that? What was it? That Zero Dark 30 playoff mode that you talked about here. We've seen a lot of that. He already talked crap. We mentioned a few minutes ago about Memphis. He also mentioned I wanted to play here because of stuff going on here at home. He also mentioned Milwaukee. It almost has a feel of that all-time great veteran who could go several more years if they wanted to, but it's like that extra burst. I don't know how long this will last in this playoff run with LeBron. I hope I'm wrong, because I think LeBron could play for more years, but the speed is different with LeBron. And I don't know. I just get I have a weird feeling. I have a weird feeling that this is the last playoff run for LeBron James. I think retirement is about here with LeBron. But until that time comes, enjoy. On a personal note, it's kind of enjoyable. Again, I don't root for or root against people personally. I don't know people personally. But Kevin Durant not winning a playoff game in ages. Kevin Durant not having much postseason success since leaving Golden State and stealing championships away from Cleveland, by the way. Kind of feels good. I hope they get swept. And also a little sidebar, even though we don't talk about this as much. The Houston Rockets they're not looking good in the last couple of years in the playoffs. Remember last year, the reason why they acquired Kevin Durant in the first place was because they needed to get over the hump. I believe it was in the first round last year. And last year, Houston was like the second seed, and they couldn't get past the first round. And then this year, they have kind of a favorable matchup against the Lakers. And they look like they kind of don't belong. Now, again, it's 2 games in. See what happens when the series goes back to Houston. I mentioned a couple minutes ago, Detroit. I know fans were worried after that first half, but the third quarter, we here. And we got a series. Now, the dangerous part is that Orlando did steal one in Detroit, and role players typically show up at home. So the Magic, let's see what happens Saturday afternoon for Game 3. Their role players they're going to arrive. They're going to show up, kind of ball out. And we'll see kind of how that plays out. I think the Nuggets Timberwolves series, I really like what I'm seeing. I told you, and you guys know this, that Western Conference is going to be a dogfight. You look at a path, right? Oklahoma City is going to sleepwalk their way to the conference finals. But you have San Antonio and Portland, and let's keep an eye on Wemby, right? I thought Autumn on Jersey Chasers made a great point earlier tonight. An NBA concussion is not just a regular concussion, if that means anything. You're talking some time. So you got to make sure Wemby is in the right mindset before we get back in. I got more playoff thoughts. Let's take a quick break. I got more playoff thoughts coming up on the other side of this break. And also some oddities with the WNBA schedule that I kind of want to throw out. Because I'm like, really? Really? This is what we're doing? But I got a few more thoughts on the playoffs. But I want to get to that Western Conference. Also Hawks Knicks. There's so many things that I still need to address with the playoffs. I'm Anthony Alford. Thank you for tuning in the Midnight Run. One more segment to go. Oh, and the workout of the week. If you have a comfortable seat, it might give away what it might be. Back in just a moment.
This is Midnight Run on the Inside Edge Network. Here's your host, Anthony Alford.
So we were talking playoffs. We got a little bit more conversation about that. I have enjoyed these West Coast games, these late West Coast games that's been on NBC because after the show, they're still playing. And then I've never watched the Tonight Show at 1:30 or 2 in the morning before live in my life. But that's been cool. And when this show ends, I have been lighting up these last few nights the rest of this candle. This is Alley Rose Fragrances. You've been seeing the commercials. Smells good. Smells phenomenal. Man, just spread it all around. Light it up. I got another order on the way. It's going to be here this weekend. But the full spring collection, AlleyRoseFragrances.com. You can definitely check them out. It's a great gift. And if you're a first-time customer, use the promo code InsideEdge20. Use the promo code InsideEdge20 if you're a first-time customer. And here's my advice. Stack up that cart, and it's 20% off the entire order. It's not just one item. It's really, really cool. Every single person needs to have a good-smelling home. If your home smells like trash, it's because you don't have Alley Rose Fragrances candles in your home. You smell what the rock is cooking? No, I'm kidding. But get the Alley Rose Fragrances. Get the candles. If you have a special woman in your life, they also have on the website body mist as well. So check it out. My friend Allison, she personally handcrafts and makes these herself and sends them to you. And they last. You go to the competitors, you might have a candle that's good for 2 days. This lasted over 3 weeks. Just incredible in terms of use. And I got the last bit of use out of this candle during these West Coast games. Our buddy from Main Event, Rob Rosicki, chiming in. Look at his comment because it's about the Cavs and feeling pretty good. Boy, he's smashing that profile photo. But yeah, the Cavs are the only team in the East that has won both their games. I like where they're at. Yeah, definitely. I think all of us are lockstep of, man, the playoffs have been crazy, but thank goodness the Cavaliers handle business at home, essentially taking the soul away from the Raptors. Now, again, my expectation tomorrow or later tonight, role players show up at home. So Toronto, you're going to get that last burst of energy. I think this is kind of surface level, but this part is important. Those first 6 minutes of the game, Cavaliers are going to have to withstand Toronto because they're going to come out hot. Brandon Ingram has been getting a ton of criticism among Raptors fans. So I expect him to be aggressive tomorrow night. How can the Cavaliers withstand that? That's going to be very telling because what you don't want is for the Raptors crowd to get hot. You just don't want that. Couple other quick things because Rob brought up a great point about the East. CJ McCollum, hey, welcome to the playoffs. He showed out. The Hawks came back in game 2 against the New York Knicks, stealing one in Madison Square Garden. Yeah, the same Atlanta Hawks team that. What do you think of when you think of the Atlanta Hawks? You think of, in the past, you think of Trae Young, but recently, play-in, right? No. Atlanta Hawks stealing a game from the Knicks, and then the Sixers stealing a game from the Boston Celtics. If you do not have a Peacock account, you were probably looking at the score and saying, like, wait a minute, what? And then Philly went on a late run against the Boston Celtics. The Celtics are in a very interesting position. It is unlike the West, which is like a dogfight, which I was mentioning before. Nuggets and Timberwolves, that's going to be a dogfight. And then we don't know what's going to happen with San Antonio and Portland because will Wemby be cleared? When will he be cleared? Is he going to be cleared at all in the first round? So the West is a dogfight. But the East, everyone expects the Boston Celtics to win the Eastern Conference and go to the NBA Finals. When you have that kind of pressure on you, where it's like the Celtics are heavy favorites, and then okay, the Knicks, and then maybe the Cavs and Pistons. These first round games are very tricky. How do you go in? I'm not going to say they're not motivated, but you're going to get Philadelphia's best shot. I thought my buddy Anthony Lyman made a great. I didn't realize this until I kind of watched back the highlights. Jaylen Brown has handled business when Jason Tatum was out with his injury. And Lyman brought up a great point from 92.3. It almost seems like Tatum, when he's in, is trying to go out of his way to prove that he is the guy on the team. In the way that the ball is moving, the way the offense possessions are going, as opposed to dude, Jaylen Brown is a weapon. Yes, I've complained about Jaylen Brown during the season, but he is, dude, let him cook. Let him cook. But that's the Celtics' problem. They got to worry about that. But yes, the Cavaliers are in a great spot. And hopefully they'll really be in a great spot when we talk to you tomorrow night. Real quick, the WNBA schedule came out today. I've noticed two things. Number one, 44-game regular season schedule. The WNBA has 3,000 television partners. And somehow, some way, shockingly, the Indiana Fever, home of Caitlin Clark, all 44 Indiana Fever games are nationally televised. Now, nationally televised means ABC, ESPN, CBS, NBC, Peacock, ION, Prime Video, NBA TV, Inside Edge Network. Okay, I made up the last part, but that would be nice too. We could add a 45th game. But every game is nationally televised. That's not shocking. What is shocking, I looked at the schedule. I'm like, okay, weeks. Oh, okay, there's a 3-week break between late August and then mid-September. And I've looked at different TV schedules, it's the same breaks, the same. What the hell is going on? The WNBA is pausing for a FIBA break for international tour, women's tour. Now, we don't have much time to get into the nuances of the FIBA World Tour basketball tournament that the WNBA is allowing their players to get out of. And again, it's the WNBA. Business-wise, it makes more sense for them to perhaps do this. But can you imagine Major League Baseball saying, hey, we're going to have a 162-game schedule, but on September 15th or September whatever, we're going to take a pause for 3 weeks for the World Baseball Classic. In September, in the middle of pennant races, and then we'll come back for the final week of the regular season. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine the NBA? Full regular season. Oh, it's April. No. We're not here for the playoffs. We're going to do a Commissioner's Cup or something, or international play. We're going to stop the schedule and allow our players to do an international tour 3 weeks before the playoffs, and then come back and there's only 1 week left of the regular season. That made absolutely no sense. No sense. So I get it with the WNBA. Part of it is probably with the CBA, and they had to kind of rush things. But that's kind of bad. That's horrible. I don't like that at all. I don't like that. I mean, that's awful. You have a regular season to finish out. I don't know. I don't like that. Workout of the week. We have a special show tomorrow, but it is Wednesday. So workout of the week. Is the bicycle. Hey, at Planet Fitness, the one I go to, they added extra padding on the seats. When I've tried to bike in the past, I've gone to other gyms, I've tried to bike in the past, and it feels like the moment I sit down, I have to piss. And I'm like, dude, come on. At least here, padding, I'm not looking to be comfortable, but my butt needs to be secured. The bike is the workout of the week. Your butt needs to be secured tomorrow night or later on tonight. 7:45, our draft coverage. Ryan Mosser and David Calhoun leads our coverage. Chad Bryan will be our executive producer. Commissioner's Couch Podcast. They do a great job with fantasy football and have been studying all aspects of the NFL draft. They will have you covered later on today. Please support their show, their program. They do a great job. And then also myself, Chad Bryan, TK Dandridge. We might get a special appearance from Eli Moon later on in the show. A special edition of Midnight Run to recap it all immediately following draft coverage. And again, we lead off with Voice of the Land. So many programs and stuff. We didn't even get into the Friday stuff. Myself and Kyle Cordell, we got to do a WrestleMania reaction show. We got Mike Check Take 2. We got Real Talk with Papa Moon this weekend. We have so many things to get to. But thank you for supporting us here at the Inside Edge Network. Go to our website, InsideEdgeNetwork.com. We have a merch store, so support us. We're all grassroots. We are Cleveland's digital leader for sports, entertainment, and mental health discussion. For my producer and co, Eli Moon, the Golden Child, and for our entire team, Anthony Alford signing off. Have a great night and go to bed. And that's true for Andrew Berry. Do not overthink this draft. Pick a receiver. Don't suck. See you tomorrow.